Thank you for grabbing the content creation Notion template. I want to walk you through a few things so that you get started quickly and you know how to use the tool. This is especially helpful if you are new to Notion or don't have a lot of experience. So I'm going to show you around this template today. The first thing I want to call out is that if you do not have a Notion account, you can create a Notion account simply, and it is free. And then you can duplicate this template and it'll show up in your workspace. Then once you've done that, you can start to delete some of these instructions at the top of the page. All you have to do is select the page, grab them, and you can replace any of that content. You can also change the icons that show up before it, or you can just delete this entire block if you don't want that to be here. This is really all about customizing your space. And I have some information at the top here around the difference between content versus social media. And this is more so if you are creating regular content, I have them separated out. But if you want to have both your content and your social media posts together in one place, you can do that. You can really customize this in any way that you like. But I do want to show you how I have set it up. So the bulk of your work is going to be done here with your calendar and then so scheduled and unscheduled content. The reason I have this here is because I like to brainstorm ideas so you can easily add ideas without having to choose or commit to a date, and they collect on the side here. But once you have assigned a date, they will show up in this main calendar. So let's see some examples. There are a couple of ways you can add new content. So you could add new content here, but let's say you're brainstorming and you say, I would like to create a new blog post. Well, you can just start fresh and start changing your content and all of this, but you also have templates. So down here, I've created some templates ready for you that have an icon and they already have some of the fields filled out. This just helps you get to work faster. And maybe you are going to create a new YouTube video. You can just hit that button and then it will populate with the icon and then you can give it a title. So let's say I want to create a video about getting organized with Notion. So that's the name of my video. I can assign a date or I can leave it here if it's just for brainstorming. Status, it's just an idea right now. I can add the description. When the link is ready, I can add it here. I could add my thumbnail if I wanted into the media by either uploading a file or embed a link to a file. I can assign a category. Maybe this is all about behind the scenes and how I stay organized. And then I can add a topic. So Notion. Now I've just done that. These are two related cells, which we will come back to in a moment. But now I have an example of a couple of different ones, and let's choose one more. So maybe I am going to make an Instagram TV and I'm going to talk about this new video and I want to give some tips. So it'll be maybe some Notion tips. So this is content that I am creating with the intent of getting out there. And this is maybe I'm in planning mode. I already have some ideas. And the category, we can just pick this. This is also behind the scenes and the topic is Notion. So we can easily do that and get ready. But right now they're not showing up on the calendar because I haven't assigned a date. Now you could assign a date here, but you can also just drag and drop these to wherever you want them to go. So let's say I want to have this video here and here. I've got them scheduled. When I open these now, you can see that the date is assigned. Here's the date. But maybe you want to change and say, actually, I'd like to launch this video next week. And when we open that up, the date has been adjusted. So you can easily see that. And maybe you say, you know what, I'm not going to do the blog post this week. You can always just drag it back into the unscheduled content. And then it'll sit there ready for you. Now, if you go over here, anything that doesn't have a date will also show up here. So that's another way that you can see your unscheduled content, but I like to have it here beside me. Now there's another way you can add new content, which is by clicking the little chevron beside me, this little down arrow, and just picking which one. So maybe I'm going to have a Facebook Live. I can just open it that way. And that's another way that you can easily add content. So here's my Facebook Live, and maybe I know that I'm going to do this next Monday and it's in planning mode. If you don't use these, you can easily go over here and you can just delete any of these tags. You can change the color of your tags, and you can easily rearrange these if you'd like a different order. Now, the reason that we have some of these tags is there are other ways to see this information. If you go to this scheduled content and drop down, you'll see that I've created a few different views for you, including seeing your content by status. So here I can see the blog post doesn't have a status, but maybe it is still in my idea phase, or maybe it's in a research phase. Now that I've moved it, when I open this, you'll see that the status has updated to the research phase. So now I can see and get a look at my information in this view and can see the path. Maybe I started to actually prep this, I can move that over. You can also see by platform, and you can always delete any of these that you don't use. If you don't use Twitch, you can always go here and just delete this category. But this gives you another way of seeing your content by platform. And then you can also see it by content type. Is it a post, a recorded video, a live stream? All of those can be done as well. But the default is the calendar, because this gives you a way so that you can easily organize and update all of your content so you can see really quickly when that content is coming out. But now let's say that you want to promote your content. Maybe you have this YouTube video and you'd like to create a social post. There are two ways that you could do this. One is that you could go down to your social media calendar and you could say, okay, on the 27th, I have this new video, so I am going to want a post. So I could click add an item. Because I added it on the 27th, it will open up on this date. And so now we can name this. So I want to promote my video. And I can either fill it out myself by choosing the platform where I'm going to promote it, or I can use another one of these templates. So maybe it's going to be an Instagram post where I promote my video. So now it's updated. You can see this here, and I can add my caption. I can add my hashtags. I can add the actual picture I'm going to use. If I'm using a scheduler, I can say that it's been scheduled. I can also link it to the content. So this is where I am going to look up the content it's connected to. In this case, it is connected to getting organized with Notion. So now I've selected this, and my promotion is now connected to this content. And this is really helpful for you to stay organized. So let's say I go back to this, my content calendar. If I open this, I will now see that the related social media is here. But maybe I want to also post to Facebook. I can click that and I can actually just create another post here. So maybe I say Facebook promo video. I can create that new page, and then I can actually open it from here. I can apply the template if I'd like to have that icon there, which I think visually is a really nice way to stay organized. I can add the date of the 27th. I can add my caption. I can, if it's scheduled, I can put it here. I can put the link to it, all of that. So when I open this video and I'm preparing this video, I know that I have two different posts that are planned on that date. And if I want to see the post, I can jump right to it using this way. It'll open this window. I can also jump back to my content this way. But this is a really great way that you can organize your content. The other thing you can do is change some of the properties. So for example, if you go over to these little dots and you click on properties, you can actually decide to show more information in this calendar. For example, if you want to have your schedules and posts on your calendar, it gives you a really quick way that you could see which ones are scheduled already. And if it is posted, you could just check that off and see that at a glance. Another thing that you could do is maybe see the categories. Perhaps you are trying to keep track of how many things you categorize or the topics that you share. All of those could start to show up on your calendar. So you can customize the properties and what shows up here. So this is an example, and this actually needs the filter. So anytime you want to change a filter and what you see, Because this is unscheduled, we actually want to change this so that the date is empty. So anything that doesn't have a date is going to show up here. But if you did want to search for something, or maybe you wanted to filter and you wanted to see only a certain category, then you could say, I'd only like to see it where a category contains behind the scenes. And then you would have a quick way to see all of your behind the scenes content in one place. And you could take off the dates so you can see all those dates as well. So these are just some of the ways that you can play around with and organize your thoughts and have them connected. So I hope this has given you a good idea of how you can start to use this template. I really want you to make this your own, customize it, add colors, change the icons, do whatever you like. But this is one place where you can start to really get organized and also plan your content all in one place.